Hello, welcome to Chip Off the Old Block Toys. I'm Jeff here, and today is going to be part 7 of building the Ultimate Collector Series Millennium Falcon. And sorry, I forgot to turn that off. That's Lego set 10179, released in 2007. I can't put it on the table. I'd like to show you how far we've gotten. However, I would get in the way of the pieces I laid out. So let's just go ahead and start the building. And welcome everybody. I see a few new people. Mayo, there's John, Brick Sergeant, and Mrs. Chip. Welcome. And I have to say it's been a really wild last couple days. Not the kind of wild I like either, but that's all right. Sometimes you don't get what you want, and that's okay. I'll tell you all about it though. So anyway, let's see. Let's start off with the best piece of news that I could ever have. The best piece of news that I could ever have is that the former owners, as of yesterday, totally vacated the shop. So now the 2,400 square foot shop is mine, all mine, and well, I already started work on it. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. So I'll tell you about that in a minute here. Again, I'm kind of flying blind here because the way that I have to do this, I don't have instructions in front of me, so I only have one screen. So I'll be flipping back and forth for comments. And let's go here. And hello, Brickable Cow, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm always at it early, man. I get up at 4:30 my time for my job, so by the time these sort of things come around, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of sleeping in. I'm just kidding. I did have to work this morning, by the way, because the process is at work. Every last day of the month, I'm responsible for doing the stuff in the background in the system to close one accounting period and open another. I know I'm not an accountant. Well, I guess technically I am because of my degree, but I'm not in that role. But anyway, yeah, so I'm a systems guy. So I had to go in the background and flip the switch to close one and open the other. And it's a little more than that, but you have to do it on the last day of the month. You can't do it before, you can't do it after. So no matter what day of the week that falls, I gotta work. Thank goodness it only takes about 45 minutes to do the processes I need to. So I got up early, got that done, worked in the shop a little bit, and here I am now with you all. And how's your guys' day going? It's probably pretty early for most of you still. Oh, Brickable Cow, I've got something for you. I went to a farmer's market yesterday. Let's see, and it said what did it say? Stay safe, practice social distancing. That means one cow apart, and it had a picture of a cow. So anyway, I took a picture of it, and I'll get it to you somehow. Oh, that's right, Instagram. Yeah, I could do that. And good. We're about ready to head out to the mountains for the day. And hello, Brick Sergeant, Miss Chip, and Greg. Hey, all right, man. Sounds good. Hey, you gonna go for a hike? I imagine. I should get my lazy butt and do something like that. We've got tons of mountains around here. In fact, I kind of discovered some mountains the other day. I didn't mean to. And that's a long story, and I'll share it during the stream because it's a very interesting story. You know what? Let's start with that story because I don't know if I told it or not. So here it is. On Thursday, I was going to do a live stream, and I scheduled it. And then at last minute, I had to cancel because as I'm laying out the pieces, well, I realized I'm missing a bag. I call Lego. It took a long time for the guy to understand what I was saying. But when he finally did understand, we figured out which bag was missing. One of the bag number 9s was missing. And got him to order that for me. Of course, it's free because it's their mistake. But it won't come in for 10 to 14 business days, which is just too long for my stream. I can't put it on hold for that long. So what I did was I convinced the guy to send it to me. Not well, they call it express, but it's 2 or 3 days. Not really that express. It's not overnight. He sent that. So he sent it to me for a whole new set. I had to pay for it. So I have 2 roller coasters. Well, technically 3, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So I ordered another one, and the guy said, you know, it'd be there, you know, whatever. And so, long story short, I asked him to check the store, and it said 0. And the closest store, by the way, is 2 hours away. And it said 0 quantity. So, and I checked the computer too behind him, and you know, on my end, and I didn't see it. It said 0 as well. So I went ahead to order another one. It's supposed to be express shipped, and well, I was bummed because I had to cancel my live stream. So I called my brother-in-law, or my sister, I'm sorry, and she told me about my brother-in-law. Now he had a rollover accident 7 years ago. And because he really, honestly, shouldn't have made it because the accident was that bad, every year we celebrate him cheating death, and we have a big celebration. Well, this year my sister didn't do it, and I forgot about it, which makes me a bad brother-in-law because me and Steve get along really well. Well, when I was talking to her, she said, you know, I had a really hard day. She works for the post office. She's a carrier. And it was over 100 degrees out here that day. And she said, you know, I should be doing something for Steve, but I just can't. I'm too tired. And I felt bad because it's like, no, you don't do that. You go ahead and celebrate anyway, because, you know, it's not something, you know, not too many people make it through a roller accident where you roll 4 times. And I won't get into all the details, but anyway. So I was feeling bad for Steve. And so I told my sister, I said, you know what, I'll be happy to pick up Steve, and I'll take him out to dinner. And they live 40 minutes away, so I'm driving there, and I think to myself, hey, let me call the Lego store just for giggles, and let's see if they really do or don't have a set. So I call him up, and he says, yeah, we got 10 of them. I said, what do you mean you got 10 of them? Yeah, we know there's a computer glitch. Don't worry about it. All right, well, hey, can you put one on reserve for me? Because I'm going to pick it up. And then after I said that, I looked at the clock and I realized that even if I hurry, cat's playing around down here, I don't know if you heard that. Even if I hurried, I wasn't going to make it in time. Like, I'd have like maybe 10, 15 minutes to spare, you know? So, and I knew I had to pick up my brother-in-law still, but I asked them to put it in reserve anyway. And I'm going to switch over to comments here, and I'll finish my story. Yeah, hiking and some other river time. Cool. Y'all heard it live, one heifer away, or you get the hoof. That's good. All right. Well, let me get back to my story. All right. So, I go pick up my brother-in-law. I'm short on time. And so I tell my brother-in-law, I said, man, I hope you don't mind. We're going to drive. I need to drive like 2 hours away, and then I can get you dinner. And you know, Steve's a good guy. He don't care. So Steve's like, yeah, let's go. He understands what I'm trying to do. So he was like, yeah, don't worry about it. Let's go. So we go. And I admit, you know, if I only had 10 minutes to spare and it's 2 hours away, well, at that point it's an hour and 20 minutes, and I get there with 20 minutes to spare, well, you know, the chip was had a little bit of lead foot that day. And I did, you know. I was speeding a little bit. We got there, and I got my roller coaster. And we opened it up right there out of the mall entrance thing. Right outside the store entrance, we opened it up. And I made sure that the bag was there that was missing, and cool, it was. Yeah, you know, no big deal, drive home. And when we drive home, you know, drop them off. Well, we had dinner, I'm sorry. And then I drove them home, and then visited for just a few minutes, picked up my dog, and then started heading home. And it's normally a 40-minute drive, like I said, you know, 40 minutes away. So I get there, I start traveling, get 15 minutes north, and when I get 15 minutes north, all of a sudden the freeway comes to a dead standstill. And when I mean dead standstill, I mean dead standstill. And there was nothing I could do about it. I was stuck on the freeway and it wasn't moving. It took about 40 minutes, but a police officer started going in the shoulder the wrong way. And, you know, it was a warm night, and all of us had turned off our cars because, well, you don't want to waste gas. And police officer's going up and down, you know, and he's telling us that there's been a fatal accident up there, and it involves power lines down across the freeway. And this is not working out. And I know I did it right. Yeah, I did. Shoot. Well, alright, let's modify this just a tad. So I turned around, and of course, you know that when a police officer says, hey, you gotta do something crazy like that, there's not going to be an orderly exit. It's going to be every man for himself, and that's what it was. Everyone just dying to get out of there. And you know, I didn't want to wreck, so I just kind of hung back and just let everyone else go until it was safe for me to go, and didn't press my luck or anything. And I turned around, going the shoulder, going the wrong way, and all that stuff, and then I was able to get on the other side of the freeway when one of those little U-turn things are at. I get there, and I told the GPS, I said, get me home, but don't use the freeway, because I didn't want to, you know, I need a different way home. So I did that, and, well, it took me up 13, which was the highway before the freeway existed. Alright, and I'll finish my story here in a second. So this piece right here goes in the back of the Millennium Falcon. I'm going to set it aside because I'm not going to put the Falcon up here again. I don't have enough room with all these pieces over here, so let me just do this. Okay, and I'm going to switch over to comments here. Alright, no new comments. Alright, so I'm going down 13, and I can see that 13 parallels the freeway. But the freeway is in the distance, so I'm thinking I'll be all right. And I get up to the point where the power lines were down on the freeway because it wasn't a distance, you know. And I get there, and there's a cop, and he's blocking the road. And he's blocking the road because the power lines, it was those high tension power lines with the big old metal towers. So, and it's dark, so I can't see that until now. So the cop says you can't go this way because the lines are down across the freeway here too, or the highway. So I'm like, okay, how do I get home? And the cop says you have to go through Preston, Idaho. Which I know there's Preston, and I know there's Weston. See, one letter off from each other. So I tell the police officer, I didn't say tell him, I asked him to clarify. I said that what you did say Preston. He said, yes, Preston. So I punched GPS in there, and I realized that there's no way to get there. And the cop says, you're going to have to go through this farmer's field. And there was other people doing it too, and they were letting us do it. So I got off the road a little bit and, you know, went through the field and did a little bit of off-roading. I'm just kidding, it wasn't like that. But I was able to get to the other road there, and this road was about 40 minutes to Preston. And this road redefined backwoods America. It was like only wide enough for one car at a time. It had hairpin turns. If it said 15 miles an hour, you better bet you better been doing 15 miles an hour. And it had signs on there that said, "Travel at your own risk. No winter maintenance." Of course, it's not winter, so I ain't worried about that, right? But you know, that's the kind of road it is. It ain't traveled much. So I get to Preston. Well, a little bit before I get to Preston, I realized the cars that were in front of me and the ones behind me are going straight when my GPS told me to make a right. But I am going to a small town where I live. It's only 2,000 people, so I'm thinking Okay, maybe most people just don't go the direction I'm going. Maybe they don't need to go to Malad, where I live. So I went ahead and I just kept following the GPS, having faith in it, which was a mistake. And I got all the way to Preston. When I got to Preston, I punched in the GPS for my home, and it tells me that I need to go through Weston. And then I have to admit, I was pretty pissed at that point because I went way out of my way. If I would have gone to Weston to begin with, I would have gone pretty close to my house and avoided all of this. But whatever, I'm already there, right? I get there, I start going to Weston, and all of a sudden it takes me through a canyon, and it takes me part of the way through an Indian reservation. The roads are not well maintained, it's very narrow, and the cliffs go right up to the road. I mean, it's not a very good road. And I take this road, and as I'm taking it, all of a sudden I start seeing semis coming the other way. Now, mind you, like I'm trying to tell you, this is a narrow road, just big enough for one car. So I'm pulling as far off as I can. The semis are pulling off as far as they can, so we can just barely pass each other. And it kept happening because, well, you'll know in a minute why. So I finally get to 15, Interstate 15, and because of the way I went, I overshot where I live, and I had to go south and backtrack, and I did. I get to my freeway exit, and there's cops blocking the freeway, so you had to get off on that exit. I get there, and you know, it's slow because there's a lot of cars, and there's a police officer. So I asked him, I said, hey, did y'all close the freeway because of that fatal accident in Utah? And he says, what fatal accident? And you know what, I turned that off. Why didn't okay, I know I pressed the button. I heard it. Oh, all right. So I asked the cop about that, and he says, what fatal accident? He said, we had a fatal accident right over this overpass, and that's why we're closing the freeway. You got to get off here. Well, it's a good thing that that's exactly where I lived anyway, so it didn't really bother me. It did bother me if someone lost their life, but it didn't delay me any further. I get home. It's 2:30 in the morning, and keep in mind, I work at 4:30 in the morning, so I got 2 hours of sleep. And I get up, I'm about ready to tell my manager, hey, I can't stay, I'm gonna go to bed. And when I said, hey, I'm gonna call you in a minute, she says, no, I'm not here. My mother fell last night, and I took her to the hospital, and I'm gonna be here. So I couldn't even call out because there was no one to call out to, and also my manager doesn't. I mean, like, there's no one to cover me if it's not if me and her are not there. So, yeah, I just had to slug it out. It was really bad. And then I called Lego after I was done with my job, and I tried canceling the roller coaster because I already have one. I ordered one online, and I got one at the store. So I don't need 3. So I tried canceling the order, and Lego said, "Oh, sorry, we already sent it back to our warehouse, so it's still coming." So guys and gals, I've got 3 roller coasters on the way. Well, I got 2 here, 1 partial, and then yeah, the other one is one of it's on its way, and yeah, anyway. So I've got a lot of roller coaster parts coming, and I am going to Frankenstein them, and I'm going to make a massive roller coaster. No idea what it's going to look like yet. I'm sorry, I'm hearing a really weird noise, and I don't know what that is. I don't think you guys can hear it because it's faint, but it's kind of bothering me because I've only been in this house for a couple months, so I don't know all the noises yet. My other house that I was in, man, I could tell you what every noise was, but not here. All right, so how's that for a story? And it's a true story. It was crazy. Long before time, the first Spinjitzu started. Okay, hey, that's cool. So, Ghost, man, that's fine, and I get the reference, man. And welcome, Ghost Screamin'. So I got my shop, and I was out there today. I was working on putting locks on it because the thing doesn't fully lock, and so yeah, I had to make sure I did that. I don't want the old owner in there at all, and I'm about ready to put a lot of Legos in there, and they're worth a lot of money, so I have to make sure I protect my investments. Oh, I see. I messed that up. Let me fix that. So, yeah, I got two. There's 5 doors that need a lock. 2 are garage doors, rolling garage doors, and 3 are just regular man doors, as they call them. And so I've got one of the man doors with the lock on it. The other one's screwed shut, so I don't know if I'm really going to fix it and put a lock on or just leave it. And the other one doesn't have anything on it. I got to do something to it. Oh, okay, I see. And I got one of the rolling garage doors with a lock on it, like I said. And the problem is, I bought some more locks for the rolling garage door, so I wanted one on each side. But I can only find one. And I might be losing my mind. Maybe I didn't. But I'm pretty sure I did. But I'm also pretty sure I've been losing my mind ever since the day I was born. So it just slips every now and again further and further into the abyss. So anyway. And you guys did not see this. I couldn't find a hose the right length. So I grabbed one that was a little too long, and there we go. Now I have one the right length. There we go. I don't normally do that to Lego, but I will make an exception in this case. So, oh, and I also evicted. There was 2 wild cats that lived in there, feral cats, and there was 2 birds' nests in there. One of them was empty, the other one wasn't empty. And the one that wasn't empty, I felt bad because I kicked a bird and it's a couple babies out. But I just can't have them in there. So, anyway, they're out. And now that the other guy used to leave the garage door propped open all the time, so that's not something that I'm going to be doing. So I went ahead and I closed it all the way, and that's the one I put the lock on. The one that was always propped open. That way the birds can't get back in there because I don't want to keep evicting them. It's a one-time deal. They're out. Okay, so here's another panel that's finished for the top of the Millennium Falcon. Again, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to go ahead and install that, but for right now I'm just going to set it aside, and I'm going to put it over here because the Millennium Falcon's huge and it takes up a lot of room. So let's go to the next panel. It's pretty similar to that one. I'll have that. Yeah, Brickable Cow says I have that issue with my memory too. And you know what? I think it's I used to tease my kids, and I think it used to upset them, but I used to tell my kids that it's my memory problems because I had kids. And they'd ask me, why is that? I said, because whenever I get mad at you, I have to go through the whole list of names before I get to the right one. That's how it started. And I don't think they thought that was very funny. I did. Then again, I'm the kind of person that nobody else has to laugh at my jokes. If I think they're funny, they're funny. And that's kind of the problem, is that now that I can't find those pieces that I bought for the, I'm pretty sure I did, for the shop to lock it up. I got a couple choices. I can order it online and wait, which is rough because I don't want to wait. I've already been waiting to have this shot for 3 months. But that's probably the best option because then I don't got to spend gas money, and God, I live so far out. The closest Home Depot is like almost 100 miles away. And no, I'm not exaggerating. It really is. So I could order online, and it gets here when it gets here in a few days. And that means I can't move any Legos in there because it's not secure. I can wait until Monday because there is a hardware store here in town, but they're closed on Sundays. Or, yeah, so there's 3 options. Go to the hardware store, waste the time, waste the money, which I don't really want to waste gas money because to go that far and back 200 miles, that cost my truck about $60, and I'd rather use the $60 for something else. That's a lot of other stuff I can do. So order online, wait, go get it today, or wait until Monday and go to the local hardware store where it's going to cost me a little bit more, but certainly cheaper than burning a tank of gas. So yeah, we'll see. I think I'm just going to end up waiting till Monday and hope that the hardware store here in town has it. It is kind of small, so they may not have it, but if they do, great. I'll be happy to engage their services. There's a lot that needs to be done in that shop, guys. A lot. Happy to have it. Don't get me wrong, that's not a complaint. It's 2,400 square foot of pure genius. No, I'm just kidding. I got a lot of plans for it. I got to clean it out too. The former owners did sweep it marginally. It's not too bad, but it still has its problems. Okay, I don't know if I did this right because I'm looking at it, and when I flip it over, I'm just feeling like there's supposed to be something else here. What did I do wrong here? When I flip it over, I've got this and this, but then this is not engaging right here. Gee, I wish I knew, because I am looking at the instructions. Oh, okay, so somehow I put this just one brick too high, or stud, or whatever you want to say. I'm sorry, I'm still trying to, even though I've been awake for a while, I think I'm still just trying to wake up. Okay, well that was the dumbest thing I ever did. Took it off and put it the wrong way. That doesn't help me any. Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I've got to do this to figure this out, and this is frustrating me because but it doesn't show it like that. It shows it one off. Yeah. And it shows it that way. Okay. All right. Here we go. Sorry. I'm not trying to argue with myself there. I don't know. I believe it. Yes, silly dad jokes. I'm happy for you to get your shop. I am so super stoked about that shop. That is going to be like that is fulfilling a dream of mine that I have had, and Mrs. Chip can verify this. I've had this dream for like 20 years, and this is pre-YouTube. Even before I knew YouTube existed, I've always wanted something like this where I could lay out my Legos, and she knows this. I've talked about it, probably bored her to death with it, but you know, I really wanted this for just ever and ever, and I've tried to get there, and it just seemed like sometimes I would take one step forward, but then get shoved 3 steps back. But finally, you know, I got to a point in my life where the money was there, the opportunity was there, and just everything kind of lined up, and you know, before I knew it, I was getting this place, and I grabbed the wrong side. It faces the wrong way. But yeah, I'm really happy about it. This is awesome, and she can verify that indeed. Oh wait, that's the right one. This is the next step. Okay, all right. So when you've worked that hard to get something, that's part of the reason why. That's part of the reason why I did not appreciate the former owners trying to hold on to that shop for longer. Because look, I've already waited 20-something years. I buy this place, and then 3 months later you're not out. No, that's not going to happen. You're going to leave, and that's why we did. That's what I did. What I did, and yes, it's the first time in my life ever I hired an attorney to represent me, to facilitate in getting them out. And I did that because the former owner's wife called me, and she told me some BS and said, well, we don't even have an agreement, which we do, and said, we don't have to get out. We can be there as long as we want. And when I heard her say that, I said, time to get an attorney, time to get him involved, time to get him out. And the attorney did get involved. He did his work. And what's really funny is people act all big, bad, and tough. The attorney gets involved, and immediately they start coming over here every day and cleaning stuff out and getting it out of here. And that's because Idaho law is such that, and I'm not an attorney, I'm just telling you what I've learned. So don't take this as legal advice. I gotta say that because somebody will, and they'll say, hey, Chip said. Yeah, okay, well, all right. So basically, after a certain amount of time, the property is considered abandoned, and the new owner can do whatever they want with it. And they had 10 cars or so in that shop, so that would have been a lot of money for them to lose. So I think once the attorney got involved and they realized, oh boy, we're not going to get past this, we're not going to be able to keep try to pull the wool over this guy's eyes, that's when they decided to wise up and get out, because they were going to lose all that stuff. And yeah, I really would have done it, because I paid for this place, it's mine, get out. So I'm glad it's done. And that's all I got to say about that, just like Forrest Gump. So let's make sure I've got everything, because sometimes when I talk I can't really work very well, and that's not your fault, it's my fault. I got a limited amount of bandwidth up here in this brain, this diabolical mind. Alright, let's see, what do we got in the way of comments here? Oh, alright, happy I got a shot. Well, hey, yes, I already answered that, but I am extremely stoked about it. And yeah, I cut the end of this one because I needed a pipe right here, and it has to be a certain length. I don't have it. I checked my store, I checked my personal collection, which it's not very easy to check my personal collection right now, because I've got it in cabinets, but they're all stacked on top of each other, in front of each other, because I don't have any room, because I didn't have the shop. But now I need to get the shop secured up so I can move everything out there. And there's one spot that I'm worried about at the shop that I know mice can get in, because there's a little bit of a gap. So I'm going to have to figure out, it's at the bottom of the garage door. So I don't know. Basically the floor was poured uneven, and I'm not sure how to fix that issue. my next door neighbor, he's an older guy. He's in his 80s. Real smart guy. Been through a lot of things, knows a lot of stuff, and I think I'm gonna ask him to come over and take a look at it and get his advice on what he would do. And that way, whatever he says, I'll just do it. That way, I can get that fixed. I don't know if I've already said this, but I really like this design where they've got all these little, like, I don't know what you call them, extras on here. Because these extras, in my opinion, really make this set because it adds so much detail. And the Millennium Falcon, you've seen it in the movie. It's got a bunch of compartments, panels missing, just, a hunk of junk, as it says in the movie. But I really like it because it adds character to it. Okay, so I got that. Okay, so it looks like we have another panel done, and if I had room for Millennium Falcon up here, I'd slap them on here, but I don't, so we'll keep going. And then, like I said, we got 2 more panels we're going to build, and when we're done with those 2 panels, we'll go ahead and slap those things on there. So, oh shoot, I forgot a piece. That's not good. Let me go back. So yeah, and then I've got the normal projects for the house to do. So I'm going to be really busy these next few months, and I'm going to do my best to keep videos going about every day. I can't promise every day, but I'm going to try to do them just about every day, and just do my best. And oh, just kick the camera. That's nice. And then when I get to the point where I start building the city, I think that's where the excitement's going to happen, and that's the end goal. The end goal is to get to the point where I am building the city. So, my city MOC. I'm sorry, I don't mean to yawn at you. I'm going to try to stop doing that. But getting up and working on a weekend that early is just wow. But hey, I can't complain too loudly. It does pay the bills, right? And pre this inflation stuff, it paid even better. But oh, that sounds like the. Okay, I know what that sound is now that I was hearing earlier. That's the washer. I forgot I threw a load of clothes in there, and it's a front-loading washer, so it bangs around a lot actually. And it's level. I already checked. I don't know why it does it. And yes, I did install the stacking kit. I would never, ever try and use a stackable washer and dryer without the stack kit. However, when I moved in here, funny story. The previous owner, oh my gosh, there's so many things he did that he shouldn't have. He had a washer and dryer, stackable, in there. Because it's just like a little closet. It's really small. Well, the guy, oh man, bless his heart, as they say, he just didn't do it right. And so there was no stack kit. And so I don't know how long it was like that. It never fell off, thank goodness, but certainly had the potential. It wasn't safe. So when I had to replace them because they broke within a few days of being here, it seems like there should be something there, but there's not. Let me double check. So maybe I yes, I did. All right, I gotta grab that piece. I'll be right back. it's getting hot in here. So I gotta turn that back on. Yeah, I forgot this little round 1x1 there. Oh, you probably can't see. There you go. So I've got a lot of small projects around here in this house that I got to do. One thing I can say for sure, I'm never bored. I may not be doing what I want to do, but I'm not bored. Put a door flap on it. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. The kind that would like screw or bolt into the bottom because the door's uneven. Yeah, I need to do something, man, because I can't have mice in there. I've spent all this time getting it and spent all this time. Yeah, I got to do something. But I am so looking forward to all of it, and the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is my brother-in-law helping me out installing air conditioning and heating in there, because I think that it'll be awesome. Of course, I got to put insulation in too. So I mean, there's a lot of work coming up, but I mean, I am not afraid of work. That's the thing. Really grateful for my dad. My dad, he was a self-made man. Like, if there was something that needed to be done, you know, my dad just took care of it. And a lot of times, I was there with him, taking care of it. So, I got a lot of respect for him and the values that he taught me. And I don't mean to sound like an old timer when I say that, but I really mean that. I had a really good dad, and he's still around. So, and in fact, he's going to be at this show. Oh, and I forgot about that. I'm going to be at the Evanston, Wyoming show. It's a model train show. However, our lug is going to be there. And we were there last year too, but I was not part of the lug last year. I just joined in January. I was at the show, but I was helping my dad's train club last year. And I'm going to be helping him out this year as well. And our booths are going to be right across the thing from each other. So I'll be able to keep an eye on my dad, and if he needs help over there, I'm not committed to be at mine the whole time. The people at mine know my dad, and so they don't care if I flip between the two. So I will be doing that, and I'm gonna have a display. It's not what I want. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna. I ran out of time, so I wasn't able to do the Tatooine sets like I wanted to. So what I'm going to do is I just got a bunch of the helmets, like the Stormtrooper, Darth Vader, Boba Fett, the Mandalorian, the Marvel ones. I've got almost all of them, and that's what I'm going to display at the show because I just ran out of time, just being honest. And so, but I'm working on this right here because this is part of the Docking Bay 327. I'm working on that so that in the future shows I can have the Docking Bay 327 as my main display instead of, you know, just stuff out of the box. Okay, let's see. Oh, I messed that up. Let me take that off. I love the fact they came up with this little tool. This has been a nail saver and a lifesaver. Alright, I'm missing a piece. There it is. Alright. So there's that show, and then there's another show in Salt Lake City area, and that is going to be at the end of August. And again, I don't think I'll be done with this Docking Bay 327, so I'm not even like sweating it. It'll get there when it gets there. But then there's another show in November, and that's going to be in Layton, Utah, and that's the city I used to live in before I moved here. And that one I am trying to have this Docking Bay done by then, so we'll see. And then there's another show in December in Salt Lake, and I can't remember. There's one in Idaho Falls. Now Idaho Falls is only about an hour, a little over an hour from me, and so I'm trying to figure out if I can go to that show, and hopefully I can. All right, so where is this? Oh, okay. Again, I really like these little details on this here. I think it really makes this set. We've got one more panel after this, and I was hoping to be done with this set today. However, I just didn't have enough room on the table to lay out more pieces, and so we've got one more live stream out of this. And so tomorrow I'm going to take the day off. I am going to do a video today, and that's going to be of the shop. Going to get a video of the whole entire thing and explain my plans to it and all that. So we'll do that today. Or I mean, I'll make the video today for tomorrow, and then Tuesday night I will go ahead and do a live stream, and it'll be the roller coaster. I'm going to continue that, and then probably Wednesday will be the last one of this. And then I can't see where this. Oh, there it is. I spoke too soon. Oh, okay. I see where it goes. And I really do. I've got a great lug. The people in my lug, we get along. There's a lot of good synergy there. And I love those people. They're all my age. Most of them, their kids are grown like mine. So they're empty nesters like I am. Which, by the way, I did hang out with my daughter yesterday since I was going down that way. And I don't think I talked about yesterday too much. But anyway, I went back down to Layton yesterday and saw my parents, saw my daughter. We went to a farmer's market. I got well, they call a dozen 13, like a baker, so I got 13 ears of corn, and there's no way I'm going to eat all that, so I took 4 of them and gave the other 9 to my daughter, and she lives with my sister, so they've got a full house over there, so they can use all that. So it's not going to go to waste, and it's just, I think it's just really good. All right, so I can't see where these go. I know they're on here somewhere. So yeah, I hung out with her. I initially texted one of my friends that lives down there, and I don't know, sometimes, a lot of times he don't answer his phone. So anyway, he didn't answer his phone, and so I called my daughter, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm available. So we hung out, and then of course when I'm hanging out with my daughter, my friend gets back to me. This is like a couple hours later, and he's like, hey, are you still around? It's like, no. And I'm that way. Like, if I'm with somebody, I don't answer my phone. And so I saw his text come through, but I ignored it, because when I'm spending time with somebody, I'm spending time with that person. I'm not gonna fool with my phone and look at it and check Facebook and Instagram 1,000 times. I don't do that. Okay, so I got an extra one. Okay, cool. That's probably where it went. All right, so this panel is almost done. So yeah, my daughter, she's 21, and she likes the Lego hobby like I do, and so her and I do have stuff to talk about when it comes to Legos. I think that she probably thinks I'm absolutely insane, though, because of the amount of Legos I have. She only has a few, and I've actually bought her a couple of those. So She's a good kid. She didn't want to move out here with me though because it's too far out, so she lives with my sister now. And I've got 4 sisters. 3 of them live close, well, within an hour of me, and the rest, the other one, she lives out in Arizona. But yeah, we're a pretty tight-knit family. Now see, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is the reason I like all these details. You know, they use all these little odd pieces that when you're putting it together, you're like, you know, I'm not really sure. But then when it's all here, this looks like the outer shell of the Millennium Falcon. The Millennium Falcon is not a smooth ship at all. It's got a lot of little things. Yeah, so does this. So I'm going to set this aside, and we've got one more panel to build, and then this will be it for today. I just use a steak knife. What, on the mice? Brick Sergeant, I'm a do-it-yourself guy and have never had anyone fix stuff for me, and I'm a carpenter's son, so I've learned a lot from my dad. That's awesome. I'm not quite that talented. There's a few things every now and again I have somebody do, but most of the stuff I do myself. But plumbing is one thing that I'm not really good at, and I have hired a plumber twice in my life. Electrical, though, I got that down. Roofing, I got that down. And Brickable Cow, heading out, talk to you. All right, man, thanks for doing that. Are you hyped for the new Sanctum Sectorium? By the way, I'm watching TV. That's why I'm not talking. Later, Cow. And Gribbling is what it's called. Okay. And Ghost Greenman, yes, this Sanctum Sectorium, I like it. I thought Lego did something close to that before, but I think they're redoing it. But anyway, I like the way it looks, and as always, if I can afford it, I'm gonna get more than one, and I'm gonna do some Frankensteining on it and making it the way I want it. But I do like it, though. It's not a bad set, and me wanting to alter it is not a statement of Lego sucks. It's just a statement of I like to mess with things, and I like to mock things. And I don't mean mock as in make fun of. I mean mock as in like, well, I'm gonna mock myself right now because I just missed 2 pieces. I don't know how I missed them because, yeah, I missed 3 pieces. Okay, let me go grab them. I know exactly where they're at. So yeah, there's going to be a lot that's going to happen, and I sure wish that sometimes I wish that circumstances were different, like my kids still live close by, because my son, he's a really good helper, but he went off to college, and he's on the he's in North Carolina, so he's a bit too far just to stop by and help old dad, you know. But he really is a good kid. I would say overall, I've been really blessed to have great children. And I say overall, and that's not a slam to anybody, but one of my children has severe mental issues, and I don't mean like she just acts out. I mean like bipolar disorder, and that is really rough as a parent. But it's rough as a person to go through it, I'm sure. But as a parent, it's rough too, because there's a lot that's involved in keeping everyone in the family safe, and also working through that child's issues and letting them know you still love them, and having to make some tough choices and that kind of thing. But I'm happy to say my daughter's like 20. What is she now? She's 25. Yeah, she's 25, and she's doing really well for herself despite in spite of her problems. In fact, I'm real proud of her because she's been taking care of her mental health, and she's been able to hold down a job for years now. No outbursts, no. She's really doing well. So, but for parents, that was a challenge and a half. Very challenging. Of course, the other kids were challenging too, just in their own way. All right, so let's see what we got here. We got, oh, I missed a few pieces here. And I don't know. I don't know what my favorite Lego set is. It's really hard to tell. But I think this one right here is in the running to be my favorite because, well, I'm a Star Wars fan. I don't know if you guys noticed, all my shirts are, almost all my shirts are Star Wars. I got a few Lego shirts, but they're almost all Star Wars. Brick Sergeant, question for you. Being a DIY guy, would you care if I sent you some pictures via Instagram of the shop? Because I've got a particular issue and I'm not sure if my solution is going to work. So if I took pictures and explained it to you, would you be willing to look at it and tell me what your opinion is? And you can tell me I'm crazy, by the way, too. I'm okay with that. I'll own that if you say I'm crazy, so it's all right. But just wondering if you were willing to do something like that. If you are, let me know. Oh, boy. And they got the 10 little antennas here. You know, I was missing a few of these. I had to dig through when I was doing it, looking for the pieces. For some reason, a couple of these are missing. And unfortunately, you can't really see it, I'm sure, on the camera, but this is actually the old light gray. But you know what? It's all I had. So sometimes it's just how it goes. Sorry, concentrating on the instructions here, or as my father-in-law likes to call them, he calls them the destructions all the time. He's a funny guy, and even though it's my wife's dad, I'm gonna tell you, he looks like Weird Al. So Chip, your son is close to me. So, oh, you're outside Chattanooga. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, Chattanooga, Tennessee. All right, and OB one has changed. How so, John? And Brick Sergeant, not a problem. Chip, always happy to help. I appreciate that. And that shop is moving on. Shop ship, yeah, it is. And the shop will be moving along as well. Just give it time. The main thing is I just don't know. Like I know where to start right now, but there's going to come a point where I'm not really sure where to go next with it. But I will cross that bridge when I get there. as far as I'm concerned, there's not a problem that can't be fixed, and just one little step at a time. I'm going to look for those locks because I'm pretty sure, I am almost 1,000% sure that I bought them. I just don't know where they're at the moment. But then again, if you've seen my house, I don't like the way it is right now because my house is extremely cluttered. And that's because the house I bought here is smaller than the one I had before. Not by much, but it is. And on top of that, I was never intending for my Legos to be in the house. I was intending them to be out in the shop. And the previous owners taking their poor sweet time to get out just really for the last 3 months, my house has just been in shambles. So I think that's one of the first things I got to do is get it locked up so I can get everything out of here. And once I get all the Legos out of here, I'm going to have a lot of room compared to what I have now. One of the things I wanted to have was a guest bedroom because, I've got grandkids and I want them to come by and visit, but if I don't have a place for them to stay, they're not going to come. So I need to rectify that situation as soon as possible. Speaking of grandchildren, I called my granddaughter yesterday. Well, I have 2 granddaughters, but one of them's only like 4 months old, so she ain't going to talk to me. But I was talking to my granddaughter, and I was at Costco, and that's the other thing I forgot to mention. I bought a bunch of sets yesterday, a ton, and they're for resale in my Bricklink store. I'm gonna try to beef that back up a little bit. But I called my granddaughter, and it's been a long time since she's called me this, but it always just melts my heart. As soon as she saw me, hey, it's Grandpa Lego. And she used to call me Grandpa Lego before, and that was just her way of distinguishing me from the other grandparents. So, but it's been a while. She hasn't been calling me that, and so I was actually kind of bummed that I haven't heard it for a while. And I didn't ask her to say it. I just called, and that was the first thing out of her mouth was, "Hey, Grandpa Lego." So cute. And yes, I bought 60 Lego sets yesterday. I bought 20 of the Friends treehouse thing. And it looks like I forgot a piece. I forgot a piece. Oh, no, I forgot a whole entire step. I'll be right back. I'll get that, because, yeah. So I bought 20th Friends Treehouse. I bought 20 of the classic with the little space shuttle on it. What was the last? Oh, the Harry Potter Dumbledore's office. So I will be parting those out over the next couple weeks. Again, with projects at the house, projects in the shop, moving Legos, all that stuff. I'm just gonna be one real busy person. Living alone isn't bad, but sometimes it is, especially when you got that many projects and you have no one that can help you out with it. Not that I really need help. It's just it would be nice once in a while to have some. But living alone isn't all that bad. not that I should say this out loud, but there's no one to nag me, Miss Chip. But anyway, I'm just kidding. And an update on her mom, because I know I told a little bit about her mom on a previous stream. Her mom's doing a little bit better, so thank you for those who had her mom in your thoughts and prayers. I appreciate that. I'm sure she appreciates that. And so yeah, her mom's doing a little bit better. She's more stable, and she's scheduled for a surgery Tuesday. So, and the surgery is really important because she's had basically one of her vertebrae just deteriorated, and they gotta do some stuff there to put that back together. Okay, well now that I've got the panels, I'm gonna grab the Millennium Falcon. And let me adjust the camera so I can hopefully get most of it in there. Yeah, I can get most of it in there. Okay. Looks like a piece fell off the Falcon. All right, let's throw this bad boy on here. Do this other side first because I can see it. I can't see that side too well. Okay, got that. Sorry, I can't talk very well when I do this. So, when Chip concentrates, it takes all my brain power. All right, and we got this one last peg right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so as you can see, it's really looking like the Millennium Falcon now that these exhaust ports are up here. And we've got a little bit of paneling here, a little bit of paneling here, and then of course this piece here goes on here. And of course we've got to finish the cockpit too. But yeah, one more live stream and this guy is in the bag, done and ready for the mock. And let me switch over to comments to make sure I didn't miss any. He is now a... Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she's such a cutie. She is. You bought another space shuttle. I need a NASA landing module. It's about $99. If I splurge on any set from Star Wars, it would be the Falcon. Yeah, the Falcon's awesome, dude. And there's many different versions of the Falcon, so you don't got to get the biggest one. Yeah, I don't either, Brick Sergeant, but I totally get it. I wish I had a couple more of that set just for the parts, but I don't have that kind of money. I don't either. But you know what? It is an awesome set, and I am truly grateful just to have one. But yeah, if it was a situation where I could have more than one, I would too. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. Be good to each other and stay safe out there. And remember, if you need some parts, I've got the Bricklink store, links in the description. I hope you guys have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you guys soon.